All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Crocodiles. This all praises to the world calls God and Jesus Christ, the true names in the Hebrew. Is Yahweh for the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai for his beloved Son. My Father's name is only Yahweh, and his beloved Son is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the deliverer. You know, also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and peace and mercy to Jehovah, like preaching his word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabah in the Great Millstone, Arizona Camp Lord Well with another video to edify. And I want to go into some prophecy, because I'm gonna scroll through articles. I'm not even gonna open up any of I don't plan to. But however the spirit dwells, I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. But this is Revelation 19:10. It says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him," talking about Yahweh Shai, talking about the angel Salakia. "And he said unto me, see thou do it not. And it says, I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Most High." For the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. You see? So, John the Revelator, when he saw the angel, man, he fell at his feet to worship him. But he told him straight up, "Hey, man, I'm your brother, man. I'm worshiping Yahweh Shai just like you." But the spirit of Yahweh Shai was the spirit of prophecy because he spoke about everything that was going to come to pass. This is 1 Corinthians 14. 1 Corinthians 14 and it's like, yeah, 14 and 1. It says, "Follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts, but rather that ye may prophesy." And that's the most important job in this truth, is to prophesy, because it allows all those that hear to know what the Lord is about to do and to prepare your spirit for that, So it says verse 2, it says, For he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto the Most High. Speaking not unto men, but unto the Most High. For no man understandeth him. Howbeit in the spirit he speaketh mysteries. It says, But he that prophesieth speaketh unto man to edification and to exhortation and comfort. So that's what prophesying does, man. It gets your spirit ready. It gets you apt in this thing. It brings you into that snap realization of the times you're in. This is second Ezra 15. I'm bringing out all these scriptures and set up this lesson because this is something we have to, look for, man. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 1. This is, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, say Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." So the words of the prophecy are faithful and true. It says, I'm going to jump down to verse 5. It says, "Behold, say Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." And that is an evident token of the times that we're in now. When I just read some of these articles, right here, it says, "Stop saber rattling and begin de-escalation before Russia-Ukraine conflict turns into nuclear holocaust." Gabbard tells Biden, she's basically getting on him because all this misinformation that they're putting out. They just came back saying that we had no real evidence to that Russia was putting whatchamacallit, hits out on U.S. entities in those areas. Why? Because that's sparking tensions. Now you have Russia also sitting there putting out sanctions, deliberating on putting out sanctions against America. Now it says right here, Russian MiG-31 fighter jet races to escort American spy plane into skies over Pacific Ocean amid growing tensions with Washington. Right? Why is Russian America consistently being brought up? It says Biden decision to not to punt on Russian bounties is embarrassment for U.S. media, but they'll continue to push the favorite narrative, right? Russia to expel 10 American diplomats and considering painful measures amid a U.S. Amid aimed at U.S. businesses. Labor. It says Putin ponders whether Russia should reciprocate Biden's new sanctions as Kremlin insists economy robust despite U.S. measures. You see, everything is going into these two major players because it all speaks into prophecy. Now, when you go to we're gonna come back to that second Ezra. When you go to Matthew's the 24th chapter, right? This is all those tensions. These are those birth pains. This is what it's showing out to be. Matthew's 24:3 tells you. It says and he sat at his, and as he sat at the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" And Yahushua answered and said, "Take heed that no man deceive you." It says, "For many shall come in my name, saying, I'm a Mashiach, and shall deceive many, and many false brethren have come up. Many people that will abuse brothers have come up, and this is evident, man. You even have Saul Netter that was a known Egyptologist, hasn't refuted that stuff. You know, still big time in that world, sitting there saying now he's a man of the Lord. You know, that's he's saying he's anointed. We all know he's not. It says, and ye shall have wars and rumors of wars. Now, isn't this a contention and escalation of wars and rumors of wars, right? Isn't this what this is, right? All this conflict between Russia and all that, isn't that right? It says for nation, it says wars and rumors of wars, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and that's what's happening, right? All these nations and kingdoms are riding against each other, and is chiefly going to Russia, which is, when we go into prophecy, is Gog and Magog, and the U.S., which is Babylon the Great, which this all goes into the big prophecy. I'm gonna get some more scriptures. It says, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow, so expect things to kick up, right? So this is I want to touch on that Gog and Magog. Now this is Revelation 13:2. So I don't want to make this too long. Revelation 13:2. It says I'll start at one. It says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw the beast rise out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, which is going into the Greeks, the Romans, Germania Major, Germania Minor, Great Britain, the French, and the Spanish, I believe. You know, let me just confirm that real quick. Salakia. Because all those nations made up a power structure that was terrible and dreadful, right? No nation could really come against it. That's why the scriptures tell you who can make war with the beast, right? So it's like I said, the heads were Germania Major, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, Germania Minor, the British, and the Greeks, right? And those are the 7 heads, and it says and the 10 horns was basically the EU nations now, right? So when you look at the EU nations now, how it really begun, even though some of those nations split up and got different names, the 10 major nations in NATO and the EU are Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, England, and West Germany. So this was what consisted of the EEC, which was the European Economic Community, which is now known as the EU, right? Now, those are the 7 heads and the 10 horns, and upon his head the name of blasphemies, right? And it says verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, right? Going into Alexander the Great, which was really just talking all collectively as talking about the Greeks and the Romans, right? and his feet were as the feet of a bear. Now it goes into the feet of the bear because who is the bear representative of? It's representative of the Russians, Gog and Magog, right? So the feet are the end of a thing. When you go back to Daniel's, it talks about the end of a statue was the feet, right? And it's in his mouth, it says in his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon, and it says, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And who's the dragon? We just went through it. All those nations, right? They gave America all their authority. You know, America rules over NATO and the EU, even though they don't like to admit it, right? So when you go back to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, I'll get this real quick. Ezekiel 38 and 1, it says, in the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, thus say Yahweh power, right? Gog, the land of Magog, which is going to Russia. If you look up a biblical map, Gog and Magog really was the old, almost entirely was really the old USSR territory, right? It says the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against them. So the Meshach and Tubal is basically, I believe, is going into Turkey. It says, and say, thus say Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog and Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And this is what this is. It's a hook. When you think about a hook in your jaw, it's something that irritates you to turn. You know, for a long time, Russia has been, you know, just basically brushing off whatever the U.S. says. So, you know, they don't, they know nothing, especially under Trump, right? But now here it is. Yeah, them hawking down U.S. spy planes over their area, shuffle them off over other seas, get them away from Crimea. This is the hooks in the jaw, right? They're throwing up sanctions on Russia for no reason, right? It says, and I will bring thee forth and all thine armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shield, all of them handling swords. Meaning the Lord is going to cause Gog and Magog to Salakia. Where's that article at? Right? She sat there and said, we need to de-escalate, stop saber rattling. When you talk about saber rattling, it just basically means, you know, like niggas in the hood, right? Showing each other their guns, like, nigga, I'm with it. That's basically what she's saying. You know, stop saber rattling before and begin de-escalation, because obviously somewhere within all these talks, this stuff is far more intense than they lead on to be in the news, right? It says before it turns into a nuclear holocaust, right? So it says Persia and Ethiopia. Now these are all the countries that are actually already in league with Russia. It says Persia, which is going in Iran, Ethiopia, right? They've already made deals with throughout the BRICS nations, right? Libya with them all, and all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, and the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Right? So this is what the Lord is causing to happen. All these nations are getting ready to fight, man. All these nations, and it's gonna be off the heels of Russia, because they're the ones that are gonna lead them in battle. And when you jump down to the 10th verse of Ezekiel 38 and 10, it says, thus say Yahweh, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. It says, and thou shalt say, I will go to the land of unwalled villages. And America is nothing but an unwalled village. When you go to those other countries, where they have borders, they have gates, they have huge lines where they're surveilling that border heavily. In America, is not the same way, man. You know, here in America is legit. What are their gates? The seas, right? That's their gates. You know, it says, and thou shalt say, I will go to the land of unwalled villages, and I will Go to them that are at rest. And America is wholly at rest. They're not in a state of panic like other nations are, right? Even within turmoil internationally, they don't have to worry about bombs dropping through their windows because these people are fully at rest and dwell safely. All of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, to take spoil and to take prey, and to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, right? And all the nations are here, which have gotten cattle and goods and dwell in the midst of the land. So the Lord is going to set it up to where Gog and Magog, meaning Russia, the feet of the feet as a bear, is going to do something, man. I'm going to go back to that second Ezra, the 15th chapter, and jump down on it. This second Ezra 15 and 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, and there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor their princes in the course of their actions to stand in their power." And this is the time that we're coming into, man. This is going to intensify, and it's going to be with the nations, man. So this is something to keep your eye on. Prophecy is happening. Prophecy is clearly happening. Habakkuk tells you, though it tarry, wait for it, for it shall surely come, it will not tarry. And we're seeing things are starting to escalate, So, you brothers, stay in the faith, stay in the truth, stay in the work, keep praying. Shalom.